Hey everybody, this is Mr. Flaherty here, and today we are going to be getting back to talking about how to annotate a work of literature. So when we did this with the Where I'm From poem, Miss Arias focused more on aspects of looking for literary devices in the poem we were reading, on the Where I'm From and also the Tupac Shakur poem. So we were using squiggly lines to look for alliteration. We were starring figurative language we saw, similes and metaphors. So today we're going to focus on something different because for the Living with an Artist project, you are going to be turning the work of art you're studying into an essay. And you're going to use these annotations as the evidence and explanation when you write the body paragraph of your essay using the tree paragraph form. So I'm going to look at the poem that I chose, which is actually the song Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan. And I'm going to look more to comment on what thoughts the poem makes me have and what questions, so what wonderings. So we can call it what I notice and what I wonder. So the first line of the song is a very famous line to start stanza one, or verse, because when you say a song, you might say verse. So I'm going to highlight this line, how many roads must a man go down before you call him a man? And then I go up here to the comment box and I open it for comments, and then I can write in here what I think about this. And when I read this line, how many roads must a man go down before you call him a man, I think about the fact that in America, when slavery was a part of our society, and even afterwards, as America continued having racial issues, slave owners would often refer to their slaves as boy. And this was something that happened through the times of segregation and after as a way to demean a person. So I'm going to put, this makes me think of when slaves were called boy by their slave masters as a way to demean them. So this comment is my thinking reflecting about what I think this poem means, this first line. And the line is interesting to me as well. Another thought that I have about it is, why does he say man and not person? Because I think figuratively speaking, Bob Dylan was talking about all people, but he does use the word man, which is, something that I think we need to get away from more as society. But let's now move on to the next line, which is, how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Now, when you're reading this, you want to make sure you know all the words. Like you see that we circle emotionally charged words. We will underline phrases we might not know. So maybe as a student, you might not know what a white dove is, so you would underline that. I know that a white dove is a bird, and also what's important is that from the research that I did in the first part of this lesson on day one, I had read, and I'd put in one of my boxes here how it says here, how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Does to seeking peace. So I know that this line is about someone who is kind of referring to how people need to look for peace rather than the wars we have. So I'll highlight this, and based on the knowledge I have from my research, I know that a white dove is a symbol of peace, and the poet is wondering, when will we have peace around the world? Because when he wrote this poem in 1962, as is the case today, the world has a lot of problems, war being certainly one of the biggest ones. And then the next line also connects to war. Yes, and how many times must cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? And when I read this, the first thing that comes to mind is this phrase, cannonballs. And that makes me wonder why, let's go to comment here. Why would he choose the word cannonball, right? Instead of, say, atomic bomb. Let me spell that correctly. Atomic bomb, or something more in line with his times. Let me get that correct. In line with his times. Because cannonballs are generally something we think of war being very old-fashioned. And this poem, written in 1962, as a time when in America a lot of people feared nuclear war with the Cold War happening in Russia and the United States. And so I'm kind of surprised that he would choose this. So when you're annotating, it's great to ask questions. You think about why the writer chooses the words they use, and thinking about, especially in this case, you want to be able to use the research you used as the foundation for your knowledge about this person. So you're not going to start reading the poem without knowing a little bit about the background of the artist. So that's going to be really key to doing this project, all right? And then finishing this stanza, we actually get into, we have this break here, and this is what we call the refrain or the chorus, which, you know, for a song, most songs have a chorus, and that is something where you'll see repetition in the poetry. So here where we see the highlight, repeated words and phrases, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. This is something that we can highlight, right? So we'll go to here, highlight the color, we'll make it yellow, and so now this is one of the aspects we're looking for in the work. Now while you're doing this, remember, we want you to put all of this together. You can use the annotation guide here, the way that Miss Arias did with the poems we did for Where I'm From. And you should really be using the comment boxes here. And then this is going to help you a lot when you write your essay. Okay? So I'm going to let you work on your essay now, or your poem now, and you can look at the comments that I made on the next two slides, which are the second and third verse of this poem. All right, everybody, have a great day and enjoy living with your artist.